you for years, but we're finally connecting on the pod. Back when you had your other company, Free Up, we are going to do a podcast about that. And now you got your new company, Ecom Balance, doing bookkeeping, accounting for Amazon companies, Amazon sellers, e-commerce companies. And then you also have your other company, Outsource School, where you teach business people and companies how to outsource and find the best VAs. I'm a huge VA guy, as you are, so you're an expert in this space. And now you're doing the e-commerce accounting thing. So we're going to dive into that, talk all about some mistakes that e-commerce sellers should avoid in the bookkeeping/accounting space. So yeah, Nate, what's up? Where are you at? And how's everything?
Yeah, Riley, thanks so much for having me. I'm not sure what happened last time with our podcast, but I'm glad we were able to do it this time. And life's good. It's early for me. It's only 7:30 in the morning, so I just had a cup of coffee and I'm ready to go.
All right. All right, heck yeah. Well, let's just dive in, and then I think we got this going live on like Facebook and YouTube. So if any questions come in, I'll be sure to let you know. But like, let's just dive right into the meat. So like, I'm an Amazon seller, and I'm honestly curious to just like pick your brain right now, as if this is like a consultation call. Like, for in terms of like accounting and bookkeeping, like what are some of the biggest like, like mistakes that you see specifically for Amazon sellers, and then also specifically bonus for those preparing to potentially sell their store/brand, because I actually am looking to sell one of my brands.
Yeah, just a heads up, you disappeared off the video. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
just made you I made you full. I got the controls here. Boom, now I slide
cool.
right
So
back in here.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
cool.
I think the biggest mistake that sellers make and just entrepreneurs make in general is doing the books themselves. I mean, there's no situation that an entrepreneur or an Amazon seller should be doing their own bookkeeping. First of all, it's just not a good use of their time, and their time is better spent growing their business, launching new products, making strategic decisions, hiring, whatever it is. And second of all, most e-commerce sellers are just not good at bookkeeping. And any time that you spend doing bookkeeping, you're just going to have to pay
Hmm.
someone to redo down the line. And I made this mistake for my Amazon business. I spent months doing my own bookkeeping, very tedious. It was actually the first thing I hired my business partner, Connor. Back then, he was a college kid that I hired. Um, he was doing the bookkeeping, and I just had to pay to get it redone later, and it was an absolute mess. And one of the best decisions I made with Free Up, probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, was hiring a bookkeeper from day one before we were even
Mm.
profitable. The month would end. Within 10 days, I'd get a report, income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, and that helped me make really good decisions up front. But it also helped me sell the business down the line because I had immaculate books going back 4 years.
Yep. Nice. So from the beginning, yeah, delegate to an expert. Uh, yeah, this is kind of what I talk about every day with your Amazon marketing. Yeah, it's kind of same philosophy. And then cool. So what would be kind of the next one down the list?
So the next is the software and tech stack that you should be using. There's a lot of accounting software out there, a lot of bookkeeping software out there. Some of it's free. The ones that are free are free for a reason, and they're only going to get you so far. QuickBooks and Xero are the biggest two players in the space. Those are
Hmm.
the two that you should choose from. Everyone has their own
Hmm.
preference of why they like one over the other. But if you start using another software, chances are down the line, you're just going to have to move over anyway. So use those two softwares from day one. From there, you need a connecting tool because Amazon connecting directly to QuickBooks is an absolute nightmare. It's going to be very tough to get it to reconcile, very tough to actually see your fee breakdown. So you need a connecting software. And when we launched Ecom Balance, we did a lot of testing. We tried a lot of softwares on the market, and for whatever reason, A2X was not only the most accurate, but also had the least amount of bugs, which is important for companies like mine, where I don't want my team spending all day trying to dig through bugs. So you need a basic software stack of QuickBooks or Xero plus a connecting tool like A2X to get correct Amazon transactions. And the way that it should be done is the top line of your income statement should not be the net that's deposited in your bank account. There should be Amazon sales, fees, net, and you're going to get that accurate information through A2X. The other side of it is using the right banks and credit cards. As an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, you want to save yourself time. You want to use a business bank account, not a personal bank account. And business bank accounts, you want one
Yeah.
that allows view only access for your bookkeepers. Because if you don't do that,
Yeah.
you're going to have to download statements every single month and send it to them. And that's a waste of your time. And it's also more effort on their side. Now, personal banks, you could get away with using a personal bank account only for business as long as you're not intermingling personal and business. But there are no personal bank accounts that allow view only access. So you're adding a lot of extra work to your plate. Same thing with credit cards. And as a rule of thumb, the simpler the better. If you don't need 10 bank accounts, have one bank account. If you don't need 10 credit cards, have one or two. The less is more approach is really what I practice my clients, and make sure that you use banks and credit cards that allow view only access. You want a good
Mm.
bookkeeping system, and without QuickBooks Zero, A2X, or the right banks and credit cards, you're just going to add a lot more work to your plate.
Got it. Any banks that are good for that you can recommend?
Yeah, I know you're not in the US, but like Bank of America is a good one. There, Chase is
Oh, you
another
can do
one that's
view
big.
only access, really?
Yeah, exactly. Now, there's some
Oh,
annoying ones
okay.
like Capital One. You can't do that, and our clients with Capital One, they have to send us statements every single month. So try to use ones that allow view only access.
Okay. Um, so we switched. I don't know how we heard about it. We switched to Mercury. Have you
Mercury's a
heard
good
about
one.
it or used it?
Yeah, they're one
Dude,
that
it's
allows view
so
only
fucking
access.
good. Like I canceled my personal Bank of America. Well, I actually switched to another bank because I actually hate Bank of America. But Mercury for my businesses is, oh my gosh, it's the best. Guys, check it out. It's like banking for modern businesses the way it should be, like any app. Like you can add a million users, permissions, different sub accounts, tracking, like no fee or very very low fee transfers out to your team, like auto payments out to your team. Very very good. So I've been recommending that, so I can just shout them out. Cool. So gotta have the right tools, right tech stack. Let me see. No questions in the chat yet. So yeah, go ahead and keep going on. Yeah, kind of the next one.
Yeah, the
Next tip
next
that you got.
the next one is doing your books quarterly or at the end of the year. I know once I had the issue with my Amazon business where I realized I had to clean up all my books, then my mentality was, well, I'm not going to do bookkeeping every month. I'm just going to wait till the end of the year, dump it on my accountant, dump it on my bookkeeper. And the issue with that is
Mm.
not necessarily from the tax side. Maybe you are able to file your tax inside, but the whole point or on time. But the whole point of doing bookkeeping is to make good monthly decisions. Every single month, you should be comparing this month to last month, this month to the same month last year. And you can't do that if you're not getting monthly books. So you want to set up a system where the month ends within 10 to 15 days, you get your income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, and then you should have a meeting on your calendar every 15th with your business partner, your husband, your wife, your team leaders,
Mm.
whoever needs to be there, and where you go through your financials together. And that's where you make the decisions for your business. And if you go to econbalance.com, you can grab our monthly finance agenda. This is the same meeting Connor and I have been running every month for the past 6+ years for all of our companies. And that's going to help you make good, educated decisions. The other thing that I'll add is when we sold Free Up and the buyer started asking us questions about our business on the initial call, we knew our numbers really well because we had this monthly finance meeting every month for 4 years at that point. And so when we passed that and we got into due diligence and they dug into the books, everything that was in the books matched everything that was in our phone call because we knew our numbers. So make sure that you have a good monthly bookkeeping process, not quarterly, not yearly, and that you have that finance meeting
Mm.
on your calendar every single month.
Nice. So if you're listening to this, you can go to econbalance.com, services, or no, go to more finance meeting agenda guide, download that right up, show you they've spent 10 years building this up, finance meeting agenda, step-by-step process. Dude, that is gold right there. So if you guys got value, or think that will be valuable, definitely share this episode/link with all of your e-commerce friends or anyone you think that would get value from this in a group or wherever. Sharing is caring if you get value. And also, if you've gotten value so far, make sure to like this video and share this in an e-commerce group if you think other people might enjoy it. Cool, awesome. These are great. Any next tips?
Yeah. So the next one is not segmenting your books. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of sellers out there that might be selling 5 products and 3 of them are unprofitable and they have no idea because they're just looking at everything as their business as a whole. So you have to segment your books not only by SKU or brand, but also by marketplace. You want to know, hey, is it worth my time selling in Amazon Europe? What are my profit margins in Amazon Japan? So make sure that you segment your books. If you're a non-e-commerce business like we were with FreeUp, we would segment fixed price projects versus hourly projects. You might have different services in your business. Maybe it's PPC and listing, and you want to know how much money you're making per service. Or you might even have slightly different business models. You might have an agency and a coaching program and something else, and you want it clearly segmented. So make sure whatever bookkeeping service you're using is segmented to your books in the right way for you to make good decisions.
Yep. Segment your books. So this could be the same, LLC, but just like a different product or service that's kind of like a separate, like a wing of whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, if you have multiple LLCs, you should have multiple QuickBooks or multiple Xero accounts. But if it's all under
Okay.
one business, you still want to segment it out so that you can see how different parts of the business are doing.
Yeah, physical products, we got digital products. Okay, cool. So at the end of the day, you can see the profitability of where all of our efforts are going and what
Yep.
different products are working. And as any business, focus 80/20 on what's working and double down on what's working.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. So segment the books and awesome. What's next?
So the last one, number 5, is doing cash basis instead of accrual. And Joe Valley from Quiet Light Brokerage talks about this a lot in his book, Exitpreneur. If you want the highest multiple for your e-commerce business, you got to be doing accrual bookkeeping. And same thing for decision making. If you want to be making the best decisions for your business, your books need to be in accrual. And so for the non-bookkeepers out there,
Yeah, what is that?
excuse me. Think of it like this. Cash basis bookkeeping means any money appears on your books whenever the transaction actually goes through. So Riley, if I enter in an agreement with you and I want to hire your agency and I don't pay you for 90 days, once I pay you on that 90th day, that's when it's going to appear in my books. For accrual basis, it's when you come to the agreement. So if I agree to you on a service, it's going to appear in my books that day. And this comes into play a lot with inventory. So for e-commerce businesses, if I'm buying inventory, let's say I buy $50,000 worth of inventory in January. If I do cash basis, January might show a big loss. February, March, and April might look pretty good. But what does that really tell me about how my business is doing? What you really need to do is average that out over the months that you're selling, or actually have it show in the month that you're selling that product. So you want to have your books in accrual. It's way easier to just do accrual bookkeeping from day one, much harder to take a year's worth of books and go backwards and fix it up. But if you want the absolute highest multiple for your business and you want to make more accurate decisions, make sure you're using a bookkeeper that does accrual bookkeeping.
Okay. Got it. I don't know if I fully understand all that, but there it is, guys. Now you know. That's one of his top 5 tips. And just to recap here, boom, take a note as we go. Delegate to the experts. Have the right tools. Monthly finance meetings. Segment your books, and have your books in accrual. Bing, bang, bong, boom.
You nailed it.
Anything else? We're going rapid fire in this one. Anything else exciting going on, or kind of new tips and tricks that that you can share, or any other value for anyone listening here?
Yeah, so just to kind of think about accounting as a whole, there's kind of 3 pieces to your accounting. You've got your bookkeeping, which we've talked about. That should be a monthly bookkeeper, and those are usually the cheapest. Then you got your tax person in the US, they're called the CPA, and other places they're called different things, but they should be focused on taxes, tax strategy, and helping you set up any kind of state income tax or payroll tax or whatever it is. So make sure you have that, and they should be communicating with your bookkeeper. And then as you get bigger, you might want to add a third piece, which is a CFO. And that could be full-time, part-time, outsourced CFO services. And they're there for financial planning, projections, helping you make long-term decisions. So it's important that you keep people in your own lane. You don't want your bookkeeper filing your taxes. You don't want your CPA doing your bookkeeping, because one, they're more expensive, and two, they're doing it away for taxes. They're not doing it away for you to make good decisions every single month. Plus, they have their own busy season, which makes it tough for them to hit that monthly due date every single time. And you want to use your CFO for more planning. So a lot of people will throw out accounting and bookkeeping and different terms in there. Think of it as accounting as a whole, broken down from bookkeeping, tax, and CFO services.
Got it. Nice. That explained a lot there for me personally. We're like in the middle of all this. I think even Parker was in talks with you. My agency co-founder. Okay, cool. Tax portion, CFO, financial planning, and then so with the CFO, they would typically like have a monthly meeting about like, all right, where are we at with cash flow right now? How much do we have to invest in marketing, and kind of make those, financial decisions where you want to allocate your money.
Yeah, and to be honest, CFO usually doesn't come into place until you're doing more than $5 million a year. Sometimes even more than that. Like with Free Up, we were doing $12 million a year, and we didn't have a CFO. I mean, we're pretty confident in our ability to do finances, but it also was a simpler
the CEO model. is just doing that. Yeah.
Right. So the CFO is more of that optional, and once you get to a certain size, but you need a tax person and you need a bookkeeper.
Got it. Because there's so much money going around that the CEO can't, keep tabs on, what's going on. Okay, cool. Yep. Tax person, monthly bookkeeper. And then QuickBooks. QuickBooks is kind of like the most popular one for keeping all those expenses, and then payroll and everything. I'm not familiar with QuickBooks because it's never been my role in the company. Cool. Monthly finance meetings. Yeah, I need to get those going for sure. It's only been sporadically. Segmenting the books and accrual. We're going to look into that, and then delegate to experts. We are in the process of this right now. Cool. Awesome. Anything else? Other kind of high value tips in the meantime? I'm going to see if there's any comments on here. I don't think so. This is just on our Amazon YouTube channel, and also on my Facebook page.
No, I mean, the biggest thing is don't take a course on how to use QuickBooks. Don't spend time trying to learn that. Don't learn how to reconcile a bank account. Focus on what you should be doing as an entrepreneur. You should learn how to read an income statement, read a balance sheet, read a cash flow statement. And that's going to help you not only in business, but in investing in stocks, investing in companies. It's a good life skill to have. So stay in your lane as an entrepreneur. You got to understand finance, but you don't need to understand the nuances of bookkeeping. And that's where I think a lot of people go wrong. And one of the reasons we were excited to launch Econ Balance and Accounts Balance is we're entrepreneurs. We're not bookkeepers. We're good at hiring bookkeepers. We have a great bookkeeping team, but we know what entrepreneurs need to see to make decisions. We want to approach this from an entrepreneur standpoint.
Yep, 100%. So yeah, this is all great. We already talked before in terms of if any other my e-commerce clients or people that I know need this. I'm sending this video for some tips, and hopefully can refer some e-commerce people your guys' way.
Yeah, appreciate it. Anyone can reach out to me, Nathan Hirsch, on any social media channel, or go to econbalance.com and feel free to sign up or grab our finance meeting agenda.
Yep. All right, Nate, I appreciate it. And you guys know where all the links are in the description, and have a good one.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. And we are